Hello, this is Instant Funding. My name is Tommy. In this interview series, we invite traders to share their story, their trading secrets, and advice to beginners. Today, we have with us Patrick. He has had 25 approved payouts, almost 13K in payouts. He trades US 100 and US 30, prefers the 10K or 20K instant funding accounts, and he joined us in November 2023. Great to have you with us, Patrick.
Pleased to be with you.
Where are you based right now?
I'm based in the UK, specifically Penkridge, in South Staffordshire, which is in the West Midlands.
That's cool. Tell the community a bit about yourself. What's your story? How did you come to trading? What's your background?
Okay. I am a retired obstetrician and gynecologist by profession. I retired in 2014. I took an early retirement because I enjoyed investing and trading so that I can concentrate the rest of my life in trading and investing. Actually, what brought me to investing or trading is that when I was sometime in Shell Development Corporation in Nigeria, where I was a consultant there, I started thinking about my retirement. So I went to the bank, and one of the bankers said he was going to visit me at home. I'm just trying to tell a short story. So he came to me at home and gave me a form to fill that the best place to invest for your future retirement is the stock market. So that was when I started investing in the Nigerian stock market. Then after a while, when the Nigerian, the Nigeria is not the best place to stay, started changing. I started to immigrate. So I came to UK where I studied. When I came to UK, I continued investing, but somehow they kept bombarding me with adverts, CFD adverts. CFD, I never knew anything about CFD or spread betting. So I started doing that a little until I retired. But so I've been trading since in UK, since I came to UK 2000. I started trading in UK about 2004. So from then, I never went to any trading school. I never did any more manual. Nobody taught me. I was just teaching myself from go high, go down, go up, go down, until I read this book by Dr. What's his name? Anyway, Train for a Living by Dr. Elder. And that changed everything in me. And when I retired, I started trading ups and down. My capital will grow, it will drop, grow, it will. But after a while, I maintained consistency, started making little gains. I wasn't taking too much risks because I found out that the best way to trade is not to take too much risk and then manage your risk very well. What you can manage, focus on management of your risks, forget about the gains. Just as a medical doctor, try to hone in your skills, become very skillful, the money will come in. And I found out that. So when my wife suddenly introduced me one day to prop trading, I didn't know about prop trading because my aim has been, how can I, since I've gained a lot of experience, can I find a job being a trader for somebody who has the capital? And one day my wife sent me a message about we fund you trade. So I took it up. I thought it was just take it up and start making gain. They give you. I didn't know it was what do you call it? Challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So I did the challenge, used my normal method, and I passed the first challenge, 50,000. They didn't give me any more. They said, "Oh no, you didn't use our method." I said, "What method again?" You set a standard. I passed it. I tried again. I passed again. So I forgot them. I told my wife, "Look, I'm no more doing any challenge because I think they are a bit tricky. Maybe it's a scam." So I forgot that we fund you trade. And then my wife told me that there is another group, instant funding, where you can just go instant funding, you get the money, you just trade as long as you keep on with the rules, nothing else. So I saw your website and I came in. So I started. Yes, I have breached a lot of accounts But I think I'm not doing badly from what I'm doing. Each time, and I didn't understand because each time I make withdrawal, I never knew that the risk changes from 10% to 5%.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew. So as soon
Mm-hmm.
as I saw that, because once I take my gain, before I knew it, the account will breach. I said, what's happening? See, no more 10%. Then I went back again to the rules and I saw it. So that's where I'm now. And I must say, I'm very glad about your thing because it made me to do a lot of risk management. So these days, what I now do is that if I'm putting on a trade, I make sure that each trade, I don't lose 1% of I don't lose 1% of my trade.
Yeah.
So that I can at least have 5 times to trade before I reach 5%.
Mm-hmm.
So I now try to make sure that the maximum I can lose is 1%
Mm-hmm.
of any trade.
And what kind of leverage do you normally use?
I try to be very moderate. I don't normally go beyond the 2 times leverage.
Okay.
If I get to 3
Yes.
times, means it's a very good trading market. And once the trend is up, I cut it sharp immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the maximum range is 2 times leverage.
Mm-hmm.
I know I can go more, but I've learned to be very patient.
That's
I'm
reasonable.
retired.
Yeah.
I don't need a lot of money. If I make little money and it adds up, that's better for me.
Yeah.
So I prefer, I don't do, the maximum leverage I use, 2 to 2.5
Mm-hmm.
times. But most of my trades now are that level.
What would you recommend to new people that come to the platform how to approach, like maybe a little bit about your strategy? How do you approach it? So you say you trade Nasdaq. Do you keep an eye on the market? Do you follow specific companies? Like it's quite concentrated these days with these big corporations, and do you just follow them, or do you follow also
Well, I'm
the
more of a
news in
technical
general?
trader. I'm more of a technical trader. And I have for years studied indices, studied stocks.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out that when you line them line by line, Nasdaq 100 outperforms everyone. And because it can slightly go a bit higher in leverage, when you add a little leverage to Nasdaq, right, you can be very consistent and beat other companies, as when you are trading other companies.
Mm-hmm.
And there's less volatility with Nasdaq compared to trading single companies.
Yeah.
Because I remember there was a time I had one company, I forgot it, during the era of mini, storage, chips that store things. I forgot the name of that company. I bought it in the morning, it made a lot of gain, but following day it dropped by 15%.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, no, I cannot continue with that type of thing. So I decided to follow Nasdaq. So what I do is that I follow Nasdaq technically. Like now, we are recovering from a correction. So I'm going to go long. And as soon as it starts correcting, I might decide to stay aside or go short with a very, 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 what do you call it? Tight stop loss if I'm going short, right?
Yeah.
So I'm very used to Nasdaq. I can predict the movement on Nasdaq 100. I've been trading it. So I'm stuck to it. And each time I try to meddle in the other things, I lose money. Each time
Yeah.
I try to meddle on the other, I lose money. Although I trade gold and trade Bitcoin, like now I'm trading gold and Bitcoin, but I do them on technical basis. But I've understood the technical movement of Nasdaq. So I prefer to stick to Nasdaq one unit, one something,
Mm-hmm.
So
Would you say it's
that's the
more predictable to you?
hmm?
Would you say it's more predictable to you than
Yes,
other things?
it's more predictable to me. And when it starts If I lose money, I don't lose much because the volatility is not much. And when it starts a trend, you can predict that trend will last, either up or down. So, and I don't find any other reason to look for any other thing to trade. You can see if you look at my account, I hardly trade, what do you call it? Forex.
Right.
Because Forex fluctuates a lot. You cannot really depend on you cannot even say this trend is going to go for a while, But Nasdaq, once there is a trend up or down, you can predict you'll be able to make money in it,
Yeah.
So if I want to advise anybody now, like my children, I tell them, look, if you want to invest, please forget every other thing. Just invest in Nasdaq 100 because it contains the best companies in the US. So that's the only fundamental thing I know because all the companies there are very good. But I follow the technical pattern, so I trade on technical, not on fundamentals. But I use the fundamentals, like every quarter to look at the stocks there, how they're doing, Like Apple now is trying to regain its mojo, So my advice is, if you're a beginner, maybe you start with the S&P 500. Although you don't list it, it's not listed in C. It's not listed in your C trade. S&P 500 is not listed there. So I advise them to trade Nasdaq 100.
Yeah.
So that will be my advice. Go to Nasdaq 500, Nasdaq 100. Prepare, plan your risk management. Go in there. What I normally use is resistance and breakout. That's what I use. Resistance and breakout. That's resistance and support. And then either I use the breakout from the support, then I use the breakout from the resistance, then I use the support as my stop loss. Of course, I calculate it to make sure that it is not more than 1%, and that gives me my trading quantity.
How has your trading changed over time? What did you start focusing more on recently?
For instance, my current trade now, as it's going now, if you get to my chart now, my current trade now is going very well. I'm very proud of my current trade now. I can't remember the others, but at least this current one that is going, I think I'm managing it very well. And the three of them are doing very well to me. They started from one was started from almost getting breached, but I was able to manage it now. Two of them has come back to normal. And the other one is yet to come out from the loss. But I'm very satisfied with them, my current trades. If you look in, they're all Nasdaq traded, except one has Bitcoin and gold, because I looked at the chart of Bitcoin. It seems he may have stopped his correction. It was very, very haphazard. The correction was very haphazard, but I think it is a bit better now. And gold, same thing with gold. Gold was correcting haphazardly, but my thinking is that the correction is much better now. That is maybe going higher now from the technicals. So I've added gold and the Bitcoin to one of my accounts.
How has your trading changed over time? Recently, what did you start focusing more on?
Well, as I said, my trade has been getting better and better each day. Like as I said, I now focus more on Nasdaq and risk management, making sure I don't lose more than 1% of my capital. So that gives me at least 5 times if I can breach 5%.
Yeah.
All right. And I believe that I won't be so unlucky to trade 5 times and miss, especially if I watch the technicals and listen to the news.
Yeah.
And like now, to me, I think the interest rate has pivoted. And because interest rates have pivoted, there's nothing that is left to than for the Nasdaq to go a bit higher, because interest rate can only start falling down now. And you know, with rate of interest rate falling down, the valuation of Nasdaq stocks become easier.
Yeah.
Because you now use the smaller interest rate to value them, and they go higher.
Yeah, this is
So I'm
not
going to
investment.
concentrate now.
This is
looking
not
at
investment advice, by the way, but yeah, thanks for that.
Nasdaq.
It's a good point. I'm saying this is not investment advice, but it's a good point.
Yes, it's a good point. Yes, if you notice that, as long as we've pivoted, and if you listen to the news, we are now talking about cut, no more hike, cut. As long as you cut the interest rates, valuation becomes a bit higher.
Mm-hmm.
So where are we
Yeah,
going?
because it becomes cheaper for companies to borrow, and then they grow. They grow more, can invest
Yes,
more.
not only that, because we use interest rate in valuation, the value goes up. The small interest rate, they add the value. And they, as you said, borrowing cost becomes less. But companies like, most companies like Amazon, they don't do much of borrowing. So, but to cost their value, use interest rate to cost their value, to assess their value. And the smaller the interest rates, the better their valuation. So, and that's enhances the Nasdaq. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking that we may be entering into another bull run in Nasdaq. As long as you manage your risks very well and then protect your profits, you just go on. And what I like about your instant trading is that you don't force me to sell and trade so many times. I can just do one trade as long as it's going high, just shift my stop loss and protect profit loss. That's fine.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about your trading approach. How many trades do you do? How often do you trade? How much time do you spend on it, like daily, on analysis and keeping an eye on the trades?
Yes, I look at the market it's like I'm retired. I look at the market every day. In fact, in front of me, all my screens are up. I have about two big screens and then two other small screens. That is my two iPad and two screens, TV screens. So I keep them open and watch them. If there's no need for me to adjust my trade, I just leave it there. But if there's any need to adjust, and I adjust, I only close when I want to withdraw.
Right.
Then I close. And after withdrawal, I get back again at the appropriate level and signal.
You mean withdraw, do a payout, yeah?
Yes, the payouts. I only close when I'm expecting a payout.
And then do you open more accounts after that? After you
Yes, I may open another account after a payout.
Yeah, that's cool.
At times I may not. I use the money for something else.
Yeah, of course.
And at times when I get my pension and I don't need a lot of money from it, I used to buy another account.
Right.
I use part of it to buy another account. Because not only that I'm trading because I need money, I just enjoy it. It keeps me very busy and entertained.
That's cool. Yeah,
Keeps
it's
my
cool.
brain working.
It's like an exercise. Would you say you like read a lot of analysis and articles, and maybe some like read up on
I don't read
the
much.
technical analysis, or like watch some
I
things?
used to read a lot before, but I don't read a lot of things. I practice it.
Yeah.
I practice it. And I have an investment
daily.
club. I have an investment club in WhatsApp.
Okay.
So I use it to get current because I publish things there. I might decide this week we are going to talk about technical analysis. Now I pick, okay, let's talk about trend. What is a trend? How do you use trend? Then sometimes I say, let's look at total trading strategy. So I read it up and then I write something on it and I post. So this is the way I read because, to be honest with you, I've read all I can read.
Yeah.
Because as
That's
far as
really
I'm
cool. So
concerned,
now you're
the
sharing
three
it with,
important things in trading is your strategy, your psychology, and your risk management. There's
yeah,
nothing else to learn.
yeah.
Strategy, risk management, and psychology.
And
And
actually,
what's the psychology? Yeah?
what about psychology? Yeah, what would you say about psychology? Like, how should traders work with their emotions and stick to their plan? Do you find it easy? Do you find it challenging to stick to your plan and not get carried away by emotion?
The first thing I tell traders or I tell people like my colleagues and my children, first, when they talk about psychology, two things. Don't be greedy, don't be fearful. If you see a good chance, take it. But don't be greedy. Don't be fearful. Set your stop loss. If you lose, period, no problem. Your first loss, your best loss. So the second part of it, before you go in, plan your trade. Once you go in, follow your trade. Don't be waved, don't be bothered about the emotion. If the thing is falling down, just accept that you made the mistake, that this trade wasn't really good.
Hmm.
Accept your loss. First loss is the best loss.
Yeah,
Stick to your plan. Be a robot. Be a robot. Stick to your plan. No judgment.
yeah.
That is their psychology. No judgment. No, remove emotion. Like I say, in fact, in every business, in most businesses, once you put in your emotion in your business, that business goes down. Even in
Hmm.
practice, like in medical practice I work, we don't put in emotions. We just follow the rules.
Yeah,
Follow the rules. Because if you follow the rules and you make a mistake, nobody will judge you because you are following the rules.
yeah, yeah.
And the rules are time tested based on research. So if I have a trading system and I plan my trade and I enter, I just stay back and allow it to go on autopilot. If it's not going down, no panic. If I even go down before I get to your top loss, it will go back, go up again. But if it breaks it, well, too bad.
Hmm.
Take your take your first loss and go away. And wait for another entry. So that's the way I approach a psychology. Just behave like a robot, no judgment.
Hmm.
And when you look at the history of people who succeeded in trading, the professionals are worse traders, doctors, engineers.
Hmm.
They are worse traders than simple even non-college graduates
Hmm.
who trade without even a college degree. They do very well
Hmm.
because they know how to be patient and follow the rules. And since I read the book by these total traders, the success of the total traders, what made them successful is just that they were very, very good in following rules. So that's my approach to psychology of trading.
And also, what kind of time frames do you trade on? How long
Time
are you?
frame,
Yeah.
yes. I tried a lot of time frame. I enter on the 4 hourly trade. Once it starts doing good, I convert to daily trade and stay there.
Hmm.
So I use the 4 hourly chart to enter and set my stop loss.
Hmm.
Once it is a successful trade, I convert the follow up with the daily trade, daily
Hmm.
chart, and then move my protect profit loss with the daily chart. So that's what I do, and that's what I advise people to do.
Hmm. So
Mm.
pretty much short term, yeah. So expect to see a result like within half a day or a day. Yeah.
There's a short to medium term, because once I convert it to daily trade, it becomes a medium term trade. Mm.
Hmm.
Mm.
And most of your current, you said you have three going on now.
Mm?
Three trades going on now.
Yes, 3 accounts. And
And
one of them has Nasdaq,
mhm.
Nasdaq, Bitcoin, and gold.
That's cool.
Nasdaq 100, Bitcoin, and gold.
That's like kind of more on the risky side, but gold to balance it out.
Huh?
It's like more on the risky side, but gold to balance it out. It's a fun portfolio. Nasdaq, Bitcoin, and gold.
Yeah. But I know what I'm doing with them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Looking at their charts, they're not bad.
Another thing about psychology, how do you support yourself when you're going through do you like when you're going through some low periods, maybe like if something is not going your way? Do you manage, like you said, to remain a robot when it's not going your way? Or how do you cheer yourself
Yes.
up?
If it's not going my way, I still remain a robot until I'm stopped out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't go into, I follow my plan.
Yeah.
Because I've found cases where it comes down to where I wanted to, thinking it's going to stop me out. Then it reverses back and doesn't stop me out. Yes. So that's what I do. I still
That's
remain
really
a
cool.
robot.
That's really cool. That's very good advice for everyone to try and be more like a robot when it comes to trading emotions.
As long as you go to your plans,
Yeah,
just be a
stick to your
robot.
plan. Yeah.
So that's what I do.
Yeah, that's really
I'm just
nice.
trying to close one of my accounts, or it's reached to the level I want to take a payout.
Okay, Patrick. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks so much.